What's up, everybody? Tuesday, June 19th. I took one on the chin in that DK tournament last night. Jake took one on the chin in that DK tournament last night. Today's another day and whatnot. It can't get much worse. Thanks to Trevor Bauer and the Indians for making sure that you were able to play that game. Special thanks to Dodgers and Cubs for not being able to play. It was a night, that's for sure. Jake, what's going on?
Not much. I'm a little upset about the Dodgers-Cubs game. The reason they didn't play that one was because of the lighting. The lighting went out. So it wasn't even because of the weather.
Oh, that's a bummer. I didn't even look at it. I mean, once I knew that I was sunk, I stopped giving a shit.
Yeah, it wasn't even raining for the last hour that they were in their delay. So they were playing a game on the south side of Chicago. It was fine to play, but they couldn't get their lighting together. So that was probably the worst part of the night because I had a bunch of Dodgers and Cubs at like 1% and 2%. So could have been a good night because I had Pivetta and Bauer, but that's baseball for you. You get some weather sometimes, and some crazy things happen, and half your lineups have guys that aren't playing.
I didn't really see the Trevor Williams one-hitter through 7 coming.
I had a lot of Brewers and Pirates in that game, and it was 0-0 for the longest time.
Yeah, I had quite a bit of Brewers.
Yeah.
Thanks, Trevor Williams. Oh, you want to just dive in?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Brewers and Pirates. Speaking of, Brewers 4-run implied total. Pirates 4-run implied total. 50-50 game. Freddie Peralta going for Milwaukee. Jameson Taillon going for Pittsburgh. I got a bit of Taillon, 11% on DK. He's a guy that I normally end up with a little bit of, so long as he's in this sort of middle ground of pricing. It makes me a little bit more nervous that the Brewers played like shit yesterday. Some sort of gambler's fallacy. I feel like they're due today, but I don't know. Are you interested in this game at all? I don't care about the hitting. It's just basically a little bit of Taillon for me.
Yeah, I think Tyon's a little overpriced, but I wouldn't mind having exposure to him. He doesn't really pop for me. So I actually like Yelich, Shaw, and Thames against him a little bit as one-offs, or if you want to mini stack some lefties. We've seen the Brewers go nuts in like these average to below average spots. So they're just a team that I can't really figure out when they're going to go off, when they're going to put up a dud against Trevor Williams. So I like Peralta, actually, and I wrote him up in the Spotlight Pitchers, which I just posted.
Okay.
It's not a perfect matchup, and you can kind of see that by the run total. I think Vegas respects both of these pitchers. Peralta is leading the MLB in whiffs per swing rate at 40%, which is kind of crazy even in only 2 starts. Swinging strike rates of 16.3% and 14.6%. And then the pitch count is a little bit worrisome, but the reason he only pitched 47 in his last time out was because he was on 3 days rest. Now he's on full rest. He's been throwing like 85 to 95 pitches in his starts at AAA and missing bats there too. So he's had a 13 strikeout game before in the majors this year in his first game. I'm not saying he's going to do anything like that here, but I think that he could definitely go pretty deep, and I think it's an okay strikeout matchup. It's not a great one, but I think he'll be low owned as well. So
yeah, Pirates do not K all that often. Highest projected K rate for anyone in the lineup is Cervelli at 21%. That's still below average, so it's the only tricky spot for him because he definitely has big time stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. So just betting on the stuff, like when we'll talk about like Domingo Herman, sort of in a similar strikeout matchup. It's not good, but he's got really, really good stuff. So there isn't a guy that I think is both a good pitcher, low priced, and then also in a good matchup. So these guys, I'll just take the talented guys and hope they win out.
Yeah, in this like Velasquez, Taillon, Weaver, Peralta group of 4 dudes. I have them all projected between 6.5 and 6.8 Ks. If any of those guys go crazy with projected ownership, I'll be under the field and I'll spread it back out to some of these guys because they all look relatively the same to me.
Yeah.
Just like coin flip SP2 guys.
Right. I think Tyon makes sense. I think Peralta makes a lot of sense, as I just said. And then who were the other 2 guys? Weaver and... You mentioned Weaver and...
Velasquez,
someone else.
Tyon, Weaver,
Velasquez.
Peralta?
Yeah. Yeah, so, I don't know. I'm not a Weaver guy, but I like Velasquez a little bit. I think he's a little overpriced, but yeah. I mean, we'll talk about him in a second, but... Oh, can you share your screen with me?
I can, and ownership's up.
Oh, we were wrong.
Didn't see that one coming.
Neither did I. Look at Tom.
Working hard.
Yeah, he is.
So, let me grab that. I have a feeling we're going to be like, what in the world?
Yeah.
Are we? Oh, I'm excited.
What? No way.
I'm so excited now. I love looking at these things and just being like, what the fuck are we talking about? I always grab FanDuel first, so.
Okay, I just grabbed DraftKings.
I assumed so.
Yeah,
Yo!
really weird on DraftKings.
Get that Sal Romano money.
Yeah, I will be on the complete opposite side.
Eric Lauer, we might as well rename him Josh Engelman. Jesus.
Dude.
Okay, so I'll say this much. I already had 17% Sal Romano, so it's not totally weird to me. And I have 25% Eric Lauer, so I'm right with the field. The only one that I'm super weird on is Jeffrey Rodriguez, who I have a ton of, and we are not projecting at all.
I think he might not be in the player pool yet. Do we have him in? Jeffrey. Okay, so he's in there, but I'm sure they'll update that as the day goes on. But yeah, that's super weird. I mean, I knew some of these guys below the 5K or around 5K were going to be chalky, but did not see that coming for Romano and not that much for Lauer. So that makes me a little bit more excited to play this slate.
Yeah, that's healthy, man.
Because if I'm going up against 25 and 24% of the field, then I feel pretty good about that.
That is shocking.
Yeah.
All right, so Tyon, I have 11%. Oh, we're only projecting 2, so I'll be happily above the field for Tyon.
Okay.
What did we have Peralta at? 1. Okay, I can roll with that. 11% Velasquez, and I have 0, so that'll be a spot where I kind of try to get back a little bit because I shouldn't be all of Tyon and no Velasquez. That is not how that'll work.
I mean, I don't know. I think you can go all in on pitchers, like in a range if you want. Have all your exposure to one guy in a certain range, but I know you like to differentiate a little bit more.
Well, like for Velasquez, Tyon, Weaver, and Peralta, like if you ask me which one scores the most, I can conceivably say it's 25% across the board. So
sure, yeah.
I don't feel like I should have 100 of one at 25. I'm happy to be like doubled up on one, but like none of these guys like make me feel like I shouldn't have them at all.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Wow. Okay, I've got a lot of guys that are up in my projections, and they're gonna be really low owned. So this will be fun. I thought I was gonna be playing the chalk, but okay. Here we go.
Sal Romano. This will be a fun day. Do you like any bats here? I got none of them. That 4-run implied total is garbage.
The 8 runs? Oh, I see.
4 each, yeah.
Yeah.
Divide that by 2.
Gotcha. No, well, I'm not going to target against Peralta. At least, I mean, I might end up with like a straggler line of someone, or maybe like Moran or Meadows usually comes up, but and then Shaw and Yelich really. But Thames for 5K I think is quite expensive.
Yeah, tried that one yesterday. It didn't work. Um, yeah, I mean, if we're not projecting ownership to Tyon and Peralta, I'm certainly not looking to go to the bats. There's no like hedge stack available that makes it more palatable.
Yeah.
Justin King in the chat. Anyone else make the bonehead play not knowing Cubs and Dodgers would postpone? I don't know, Jake. Did anybody else make that play?
I did. And I knew the risk going in, and I got more excited as the slate went on, got to like 9 Eastern and 10 Eastern, and I was like, okay, now they're going to start this thing. And then I heard about the lights not working in right field, and I was like, oh, this is just perfect. Right when the weather's clearing up, they can't turn the lights on, and that's why it got canceled, because it wasn't raining. We kind of talked about that at the top, but people probably weren't in the chat.
I'm trying something quick. I want to see how this looks. I probably should have done this at a different time, but here we are. All right, let's grab that and then match. I should not be doing this while we're talking, but whatever.
It's all right.
Look, it's one of those mornings where I don't care.
After you've got 100K richer.
Yeah. Okay, that might look okay. All right, we'll go to the next one, and I'll work on it while you talk about pitching here. Cardinals and Phillies. Cardinals, 4.2 run implied total. Phillies, 4.3. It's a 52% chance to win for the Phillies. Luke Weaver going for St. Louis. Vince Velasquez going for the Phillies. I probably have Vince Velasquez's name fucked up. No, I fixed that. Good for me. Good job, Josh, for doing some work.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, normally I had to go back and fix Vince Velasquez in our ownership rankings. His name, it's really annoying. Vince Velasquez's name in our ownership projections is different than it is in the rankings on our website. Don't ask me why. So I always forgot to switch it, but I just fixed the formula. Anyway, Not that anybody needed to hear that. Velasquez and Weaver, to me, they're basically the same guy here. I like Weaver a little bit more. I'll have a little bit of Weaver. We're projecting 8% Weaver. I have 6. We're projecting 11% Velasquez, and I don't have any right now, but that'll change by lock. I'll have somewhere in the neighborhood of 5% there. They're just two good guys. I'd expect one of them to have a good night. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think Velasquez has a much better chance. So I think I mentioned on the last show when Velasquez was pitching, it was a morning slate, that his velocity was down. It jumped up a little bit on his fastball, which I like to see in his last start. He had a fine outing against Colorado. And he's just like Pivetta. He's awesome against righties. 116 whip, almost 30% K rate. Some fly balls, but not enough to really make me worried here. A little bit of wind blowing in. It's cooled down a little bit to 85 in Philadelphia. But same thing with Pivetta. If Velasquez is on his A game, if he's got his best stuff, you're not really worried about the weather. So I think he'll be somewhat low owned. If I remember what I just looked at, let's see. Velasquez. Yeah, so I'm comfortable with what we have him at, like the 6th or 7th most owned pitcher. And just so many righties in that lineup, and he's so good against righties. So he's just a very logical play for me, even at 8,600, maybe a little bit overpriced, but I think he can dominate this matchup if he's got his best stuff. So I'll have a lot of Velasquez. That's a long way for me of saying that. And then probably no Weaver for me. I'm just not a Weaver guy. I don't see it with him. I mean, I did for a couple starts, but I'm just not a big fan of using him in DFS. He always seems overpriced.
I love Weaver. I'm surprised that you don't like him. He's just like solid. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm just weird about it.
Like, he can't even get like Cincinnati and San Diego to chase. Like, he had one like super impressive start to me, and it was Kansas City. 15% swinging strike rate almost, and then a 50% chase rate. And then nothing even close to that. So I was kind of in on him after that, and then he's just been okay since then. So
Are you looking at bats at all here?
Santana, Rhys Hoskins, but it depends how chalky Weaver's going to be, because I'd like to attack him. Because
not that chalky, apparently.
Yeah. So nothing jumping off the page to me. I don't know. Do you have any bets?
I've got a little bit of Cardinals on FanDuel and DK, but that's really it. Not all that much. Or I don't know why I said FanDuel. A little bit of Cardinals on just DK, rather. And I don't really know why. I guess the top 4 kind of look good. Martinez, Carpenter with the dual eligibility, and 2 outfielders. Like, you can see that as a high end, but they don't stand out as like anything, I don't know, good. That's probably not the word I'm looking for, but like they're there. They're the Cardinals. It wouldn't shock me if they put up 9 runs, but I mean, they wouldn't be like the team I'm betting on. And apparently our ownership percentages agree with me. We're not projecting all that much ownership to the Cardinals, 4%.
Yeah, I mean, Velasquez had that one blow-up start, but I don't see it here with 7 righties in the lineup. So I won't be targeting heavily against him, or really at all.
I don't know if I like what I just did on my screen, but we'll see.
Let's see. What's wrong?
Well, I added our ownership projection to the spot where I had my own ownership projections, or not my own ownership, like my own exposure, so I can compare while we're on this screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ultimately this is just pitching for me again. A lot of pitching in the early spots.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Mariners and Yankees. Mariners 4-run implied total, Yankees 5. 61% chance to win for the Yanks. Marco Gonzalez going for Seattle. Domingo Germán going for New York. Yeah, this one is not pitching for me, although Germán seems to be fine. I'm looking more at the Yankees sluggers because it's a lefty starting pitcher, and the Yankees have a ton of right-handed dudes that just mash the shit out of the ball. So, seems like a direction I would need to go.
You're cutting out a little bit, but I think you said Yankees bats you like?
I do.
Against Marco? Okay.
I do.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Marco, it's just a tough spot for him going into Yankee Stadium. He's okay at getting strikeouts and getting guys to swing and miss a little bit, but I don't think he can navigate Hicks, Judge, Stanton, Sanchez, Torres, Andujar. That is such a lethal top 6, especially with the way that Gleiber's been hitting, and they finally moved him up a few days ago. So I love the Yankees stack. 5.2 run total. Marco's not a guy I'm scared of. So, yeah, I love the Yankees. I'm with you there. And then, what about Germán? Are you on him?
A little bit. I have 5%. We're projecting 10 on DK. I think that's fine. There's just a lot of guys in that, like from Velasquez to Germán, I guess, where I'll have a little bit of interest. He's just there. I'll have some of him. I don't expect anything crazy. It's not like he stands out.
Yeah, I mean, he stands out to me like as a pitcher.
Yeah.
When you factor in the matchup, it's a little bit tougher. But he had just a crazy start last time. 6 innings, 10 strikeouts, gave up a few runs, which is fine. But he's cheap again, and he's at home. He had a 28% swinging strike rate. I don't think I've seen that from anyone this entire year. So that and like the games leading up to it, he had like 14, 14, 13, 16. So he's exactly the type of pitcher I want to use. It's a tough matchup. The Mariners are striking out a little bit more with no Robinson Cano in the lineup, but it's only up to like 21% over the last month. I just think that he can get strikeouts against pretty much any team. So I'll have a bunch of Germán for that reason. I just think he's so good.
I mean, I get it. I've been loading up on him lately. For some reason, it doesn't balance out for me today as like a standout option. No one really does. Like, I don't see anybody that's so dramatically off from what their price point is. Like, everything seems pretty correct.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yankees bats are really the only things that I'm interested in here. Hicks, Judge, Stanton, Sanchez, Kleiber.
Yep. I mean, love all those guys, so. Why isn't Kleiber showing up?
Let's make that a little bigger. Why isn't Kleiber showing up?
For me. I don't know why he's not.
Oh, you don't mean like in any of our stuff or anything like that?
Oh, no.
You're just talking in generalities. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we can move on. I'm not looking really at any Mariners. A little bit of Kyle Seager, I think, is functionally fine.
Yeah. I'm not going to target against Erman, but
Gotcha.
I'm ready to go. Let's see.
So this one's ugly. At least on one side of it, it's ugly. Orioles and Nats. Orioles 3.5 run implied total. Nats 5. It's a 65% chance to win for the Nats. David Hess and his projected 6.12 FIP from Steamer going for Baltimore. Jeffrey Rodriguez going for the Nationals. I'm smashing the Nats bats. They're my number one stack of the day. I assume they're the number one stack for the public. No, they are not. That is interesting. We have them fourth. Oh, and we barely have them on FanDuel. Okay, sign me up. I absolutely love the Nats. I'm going to destroy them compared to the field. I love it. And then I'm going to have a lot of Jeffrey Rodriguez. We're not projecting any ownership there, and I'm not entirely sure why.
Yeah, I'm all in for the Nats onslaught here. Eaton, Daniel Murphy, those guys always come up huge for me, as does Bryce Harper against a righty, especially a bad righty like Hess. I mean, he's not bad. I mean, he's okay, but
Hess is bad.
Yeah, I don't know. He's probably a little bit better than what some of the numbers say, but he can't strike guys out, and he's not going to make these Nats miss. And that's, I mean, you're in trouble against this lineup. They've yet to really go off, but it could be any day now. Just a lot of good hitters. You see that Soto home run yesterday?
Dude, I talked about it in Spotlight Hitters, man. I don't think it landed yet.
Dude.
I told Chris to watch it last night.
Oh, my God. That was an
absolute... It was like, I didn't know that home runs could go there.
Yeah. So, and that's your 7-hitter.
Yeah, he nuked
which
the
is
shit out of that
crazy.
ball. Did you see the? I didn't see the final distance or anything. Did you?
No, I don't know. I should look at the StatCast, but I'm stacking up the Nets 1 through 7. I'll have as many combinations as possible. They'll be probably my highest owned stack. And then Rodriguez looks like he can miss bats decently. Swinging strike rate looks fine in Double-A. Making the jump from Double-A to the majors is a little concerning, but this Orioles team, I just keep targeting them, and it keeps working out. 25% K rate against righties over the last month, 74 WRC plus, one of the lowest ISOs, one of the lowest on-base percentages. They're just not scary. So a 6K pitcher where I love the offense, it's sort of a correlation play, and you're just hoping to get 5 or 6 innings out of Rodriguez, and I think he can do it based on the numbers he's put up in Double-A.
Trying to find the distance of this home run, but I can't find it. It's not on the StatCast leaderboards yet.
Have you seen anything about the pitch count?
I haven't.
For Rodriguez?
I haven't. I don't have him going particularly deep in the game. I just like him at that price point.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really good price against the Orioles. See the Orioles on the road against a righty this year. I bet it's atrocious.
I seriously cannot find this fucking home run anywhere.
I guess
Nimmo. We made jokes about Nimmo going yard yesterday, lefty. Not only did he hit an actual home run after we talked shit about it, yeah, he started it off with an inside the parker.
So stupid.
Soto. So I'm on Home Run Tracker now, so give me 1 second. I just want to know how far it is. Why are they... they showed the home run track... so at Dinger Tracker on Twitter actually has the Brandon Nimmo inside the park home run stuff. So exit velocity and distance and everything. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Soto, Hicks, Carpenter, Herrera. All right, there we go. Get the fuck out of here. 433 feet, my ass.
Yeah, that's...
The ball certainly went further than 433 feet. 112 mile an hour exit velocity, though, is scorching hot.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I'm not looking at any Orioles. So everything here just comes up Nats.
Yeah, it's all Nats for me as well.
Harper, man. He is going to be terrifying in this matchup. If David Hess can't strike people out and it's a righty-lefty for Harper, I'm afraid for David Hess's career and family.
He's going to get blasted, I think.
Yeah. So, do you think it's crazy that it's only 1% Jeffrey Rodriguez?
It'll be higher than that, I think.
Okay.
We just talked about him. Other people will talk about him. The Orioles are a popular team to target against for good reason. So he'll be up there, I think, a little bit as the day goes on.
Braves and Blue Jays. Braves 4.4. Blue Jays 4.4. Coin flip game here. Mike Soroka going for Atlanta. Jaime Garcia going for Toronto. This is like a nothing game for me. I don't like the bats. I don't like the pitching. The implied total is kind of in like the middle ground where it doesn't make bats look a lot better, but it also doesn't improve the pitching. So I'm completely indifferent to this game. What say you? Blue Jays are kind of popular on DK.
Yeah, I don't get that. It's a decent run total. So, I mean, sure, but I like Soroka as a pitcher. I don't think I'm using him because he's 8,900 on the road here. But use him with that. So
I just lost.
Yeah, I'm not really
I
on
just
the Blue
lost you
Jays.
for like the last 10 seconds.
Okay.
From the time you started saying Soroka is a good pitcher.
Yeah, so I was saying that I think that I'd rather play Soroka than a Blue Jays stack. And then on the other side, I like the Braves against Jaime. So I'll be targeting Suzuki, Swanson, Albies, Flowers if he's in the lineup. He should be in the lineup. So should Suzuki, in my opinion. But you kind of have to choose between them if they're both in the lineup, which sucks. Jaime's not been good. So, and I have the Braves being one of the best teams against lefties.
I don't get to the Braves. There are pieces of the Braves that I think look kind of nice. Dansby Swanson is someone I like in the 2-hole. Albies just mashes lefties, so he's definitely interesting. Suzuki as a catcher option, but I don't think they have a lot of filler today.
Yeah, that's the tough part. You got to fill them in with lefties, Freeman and Markakis, which I'm fine doing because they can both hit lefties fine. But you'd like to get like 7 righties in there against Jaime if you can.
Very true. Any Blue Jays bats that stand out to you? Because apparently Justin Smoke is going to be quite popular, and I don't really see that one.
No, I don't. I'm not really on the Blue Jays. I don't get it. Soroka is someone I respect, so I won't be going out of my way to target against him.
We have the Blue Jays with the 7th most aggregate ownership on DraftKings. I don't see them even remotely close to the 7th best stack today.
I don't either. And maybe we're missing something on him, but I mean, that's just other ownership elsewhere, so I'm not going to waste my ownership on them if I don't think they're a good stack.
Yeah, I didn't get to them at all. I've got a 0 on what is the number 1 or number 7 stack. That's kind of scary to me. It makes me feel like I'm missing something, but I don't see where I would put that ownership. I don't see Smoke as an even interesting play. I guess 3,500 is a nice price point, but like Granderson as a one-off, I get if he's leading off.
That was the one guy I think I mentioned on the night shift. But yeah, I'm just a little confused about ownership after seeing that. So shouldn't be surprising. Nothing should be surprising right now if everything's kind of flipped for me.
Sorry, I just got a voicemail. Anything else here? I don't think we have it.
Nope, just Brave stack.
Here's the biggie that we probably didn't expect that was coming. Tigers and Reds. Tigers 4.4 on implied total. Reds 4.8. 54% chance to win for the Reds. Matt Boyd going for Detroit. The people's champ Sal Romano going for Cincinnati. I've got a ton of Sal Romano. When I saw that I had 17%, I was like, that's fucking ridiculous. I'll lower that stuff later. Turns out, I'm well under the field. Sal Romano projected 25% ownership on DraftKings. What say you, Jake? How big of a Sal Romano fan are you tonight?
I might have to deposit more money into FanDuel or into both sites, every site, if he's going to be the chalk here. Because I just don't see it with him. I don't think he's a good pitcher. I don't even think he's anywhere close to an average pitcher. Against lefties, he is god-awful. 520 xFIP. He's walking over 4 guys per 9, 14% strikeout rate, 39% hard contact almost. And then it's 80 degrees in Great American. So I don't see anything to like about Sal Romano. Like, he's going to get some righties here, but all of them have power, and he cannot miss any bats. So you guys can enjoy your Sal Romano exposure. I'll have some Tiger stacks. Specifically, I want Leonis Martin. I think he's one of my favorite plays on the night. And then Candelario, I'll have Castellanos and Hicks, and down to Goodrum at 3,600. I think they actually make for a really good full stack. Yeah, I agree with Derek Lowe. I love Leonis Martin tonight.
Yeah, I don't have any of him on DK. I got a bit of him on FanDuel. He's a lot cheaper. DK's price point is tough. 4,700 for him is... I don't know how that happens.
For Leonis?
Yeah.
It's because he's good.
When has he been good?
Here, I'll pull up his numbers against righties this year. He's been good. 203 ISO, 42% hard contact, 46% fly ball, 359 on base percentage, 20% K rate. So those are all above average numbers for me.
Yeah, when did he?
He's all of a sudden good.
This feels fluky.
Are you accusing him of something?
Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, probably. I mean, he's like an entirely different player than he was, I don't know, ever before. I'm not buying what Leonis Martin is selling. Although I do have a little bit of him on FanDuel, so I can't complain too much. I love the Reds as a stack tonight, like big time.
Sure.
Number 4 stack for me.
Yeah, the problem with the Reds for me is that it's a lot of lefties mixed in here. So Jeanette and Votto and Schebler.
Yeah.
I love Eugenio Suarez. You don't have to tell me twice to take him against the lefty. He just comes up every single time for me.
Adam Duvall, too.
Duvall, yep. And then, I don't want to play Peraza. I don't want to play Billy Hamilton. So it's tough to get to the whole stack unless you're comfortable throwing in lefties against Boyd, which I don't think is the worst idea, but I like the Tiger side more than anything. If Sal Romano chalk beats me, I might have to take some time off DFS because that's awful. It's not even like if it was like a 3.5 run total, I'd be like, okay, maybe I'm missing something here. But 4.4 for a bad team on the road, I mean, I don't know. You guys can have your Sal Romano.
The problem is there's not a lot of guys anywhere near him that makes like Verlander and Sale easier. I think you'd have to go. I guess you'd probably say Jaime, right?
Jaime?
Yeah.
No. No, I don't like Jaime at all.
Marquez, then, I guess, is probably the closest guy. I'm not going further down because I like Lauer and Pena, so that should be an interesting conversation. So what's the lowest guy that you like tonight? Salary-wise.
Probably the Rodriguez brothers. Jeffrey and Derek. But Jeffrey is 5,900, I think. That's right.
Who the fuck is Derek Rodriguez? Oh, never mind. Got him.
Giants guy.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I've got a lot of him as well. How he spells that name weird. Yeah, so like I've got 67% of the 200% ownership at pitcher below Jeffrey Rodriguez.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
So like, for me to get off of Romano in any way, I need to give it to guys that are coming up with just solid, disgusting goose eggs, like Paul Blackburn or Jason Hamill or something. So I don't know where else I would give that ownership. It's either that, I either have to take less from Romano, Lauer, and Pena and give more to the Velasquez, Weaver, Peralta area, and then drop down from expensive bats to like more Reds. Well, I already have a ton of Red stacks. More Giants, I guess. More Cardinals, Dodgers. I don't know. I see the high-end pitching better, and I'd rather take the Flyers on the crap guys at the bottom of the barrel. Who's going to be tonight's Trevor Williams? Tune in tonight at 6. Find out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard for me to play a guy that I don't believe in at all. Like I just don't see it with any of those guys. Blackburn or Romano mostly, and Lauer too. So
yeah, I'll get to Lauer.
We shall see. I'm sure one of them is going to have an okay start, but I don't think any of them are going to break the slate with 25 points at 5K or anything like that.
Ooh, well, I disagree there. One of Sal, Romano, Lauer, and Pena should break the slate with 25 points.
Oh my God, I would take the under on all those guys.
One of those three should have over 20, just based on like math.
God, I think Lauer probably has the best chance to do it, but even that total is coming up, and I just don't think any of these guys are any good.
I'm with you. There's a reason they're priced 5,000 and under.
I think I'd take Hamill. I'd take Hamill over Romano, over Lauer as well. And what's his percentage? Let's see.
What's Hamill's ownership percentage?
Yeah.
0?
Nah, 4. But I'd take that at that ownership compared to these guys. He's a fifth of their ownership. He's got way more than a 20% chance of outscoring those guys.
Oh, man. God, these guys are terrible.
Keith won 5K watching these dudes, man. Thanks, Keith. I think he's talking about us, but
yeah, I hope so.
Glad we could help.
I hope he doesn't mean watching Sal Romano and the Reds.
Or stacking against us.
Yeah.
I'm good on this game.
Yeah, me too.
I don't even know which game we were talking about.
Well, I guess I should probably touch on my liking of the Reds a little bit because I'm getting them a lot. Only guy that I don't really get a lot of is Scooter, 4,500. I think there are better second base options out there. But Suarez looks great. Barnhart's a really bad hitter against lefties, but getting a catcher in the 2-hole at 3,200, I'm willing to take that sort of shot. It's really hard to fill that out sometimes. And then, you're just kind of praying that like Adam Duvall hits a 3-run dong, I guess.
Yeah.
Him and Suarez are like that's the pop you're looking for from the right side. I don't care too much about Matt Boyd, so I'm a little less worried about the big splits for someone like Schebler or Votto. I'd rather have their opportunities of being able to hit first and third than worry too much about the platoon split. So I'm likely going to have a lot of Reds. I think their price point allows me to do a little bit more with the pitching side. So the Reds will be a popular stack for me in situations where I have like Verlander or Sale plus someone relatively expensive. So someone in that Peralta, Weaver, Taillon, Velasquez area.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
Alrighty. White Sox and Indians. White Sox, 3.6 run implied total. Indians, 4.9. It's a 64% chance to win for the Indians. Carlos Rodon going for Chicago. Mike Clevinger going for Cleveland. I like Clevinger quite a bit as a sort of a different option. $1,900 cheaper than Sale on DK. He's $2,100 cheaper on FanDuel. So Clevinger looks really, really good to me as an alternative to the top two on FanDuel. And on DK, I'll be right with the field. We have Clevinger at 19%. I've got him at 24%. So Clevinger's a guy that I like quite a bit. Other than that, I'm not really interested in this game.
Yeah, I like Clevinger. I think he's kind of the main play for me here. If I can't get up to Sale or Verlander, I think Clevinger is a fine consolation prize if you need to save some money. At home against the White Sox, he just dominated them in Chicago. Now he gets to face them at home. That's always better. Well, for most pitchers, it is. And then just going to see a lot of bad righties. Davidson and Abreu are fine, but they're actually, I think they're both good hitters. But like Kevin Smith, Anderson, Engel, Tilson, I just like the top of that lineup is pretty good for the White Sox, but then once you get below the 5-hitter, it's just awful. So, I mean, yeah, give me some Clevinger here.
You have to. I got him projected for 8.4 Ks. That's third on the day, but it's third by a mile. Like, it's Verlander at the top, a drop off to Sale. Verlander actually projected for 10 on the dot. I don't usually get a ton of guys over 10. And then Clevinger at 8.4. The next closest guy is Taillon in the 6s, I think. So, love Clevinger. I think that he's got an okay shot to be one of the 2 highest scoring pitchers. But I think that he's pretty clearly the third best option.
Sure. I would 100% agree that he's the third best option.
Like, I think that delineation is just perfect. It's very clearly Verlander, Sale, Clevinger. Mm-hmm. You can mix those order up.
And then my boys...
I think there's a huge gap between 3 and 4.
Yeah. And then my boys, Freddie Peralta and Domingo Germán, right after that.
I would have said Sal Romano, but whatever.
Oh, God. Sal Romano is the 30th ranked pitcher for me today.
Okay, that can't be true.
No, I'm kidding.
David, there's no way you like David Hess more than Sal Romano.
Is worse. Matt Koch is probably worse. Blackburn.
Gonzalez is worse for me.
Blackburn. Yeah, probably. Let's see. I've got.
What were you saying?
Never mind.
You looking at any bats on the Indian side here? Because we're not really projecting all that much ownership.
It's just hard for me to stack them. So I'd go Lindor, Ramirez, and then Yan Gomes crushing lefties this year. But I never play Geyer. I don't know. Is he getting pinch hit for a lot this year? I know they were doing it all the time last year.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I could see. I don't know. Yeah, I could see them pinch hitting Geyer for like Chisenhall late in the game against the righty.
And it's last year. It wasn't even like late in the game. It was like in the 6th inning. So as soon as they got the starter out, it was.
I mean, he's got pretty extreme splits, so.
Yeah.
I get a lot of Geyer on FanDuel. He's only 2,100 and hitting 5th, so he'll be really popular for me on that side. But I don't have anybody more than 3% on the DK side, so Lindor and Geyer are the only 2 guys that I'm looking at, quote unquote.
Sure. Yeah, I'm good to move on.
Yeah. Okay. Dodgers and Cubs. Dodgers 4-run implied total. Cubs 4.5. It's a 55% chance to win. I don't believe this line is actually out yet. Or is it now?
It
is now.
Is. Yep, it is. 8.5, a little over 8.5.
Alrighty, I have 8.5. and Cubs as a slight favorite. On the nose, baby. Sometimes I'm just good at this shit. I wish I got extra fantasy points for predicting the line 8 hours before it happened. Anyway, Rich Hill going for the Dodgers, Mike Montgomery going for the Cubs. I don't have any ownership for these guys right now because I ran this game with Chatwood and Maeda. So Hill and Montgomery are getting zeros. We're projecting a little bit of ownership for Rich Hill, which is surprising to me, and no ownership for Mike Montgomery. So I'm not expecting to get to these guys one way or the other. I can tell just from their stats that it's not like they're going to pop up for me. And I don't really like the game from a hitting perspective, so I don't really care about this game.
I like Chris Bryant and Wilson Contreras against lefties, especially Bryant. He's just 474 ISO against lefties this year, so he comes up huge for me. But then Contreras, if you're looking for a catcher for 3,600, I think that's fine. Hill wasn't even that good before getting injured a couple times, so I'm not interested in him at all, especially if it's going to be bad weather. Like, this game might not even play, right? So
it'll be close.
Yeah. Maybe another lighting issue. But against Montgomery, I think Justin Turner and Matt Kemp are fine. But that's about the extent of it. This one, not all that fun for me. I'm a little sour, but
I bet. Yeah, I don't have anybody more than like 5% or so. Anthony Hunt in the chat. Can't believe everybody was off DeGrom. They weren't. If you paid attention to anything coming out of Osmo.com yesterday, you saw me eschewing the virtues. Jake eschewing the virtues. Big fans of Jake DeGrom yesterday, and paid off.
Yeah, I mean, if you looked at the Spotlight Pitchers article and you played the top two, Bauer and Pivetta, or maybe it was first and third, I don't know, whatever. But I didn't have them ranked, but those are my two favorite pitchers, and you probably did well.
Yeah. Now, I hope you skipped the part of the video where I recommended Eric Thames, and he went 0 for 3, and Trevor Williams went like nuclear, but you know, can't get it all right. I don't like to point those out. I don't have, I get to a couple percentage points of all these guys. They'll just be secondary stacks for me.
I honestly, I don't even know if I'll have any stacks of either team.
Yeah, it'll be minimal. Ugh, I hate talking about this team. Rays and Astros. This one's brutal. Rays. 2.6 run implied total. Astros 4.4. It's a 70% chance to win for the Stros. Blake Snell going for Tampa, which kind of sucks because we're wasting a Blake Snell start.
Yeah.
Justin Verlander going for the Astros. Verlander, to me, is the pitcher with the highest ceiling of the day. I'll have him quite a bit. He'll be the chalkiest pitcher on both sites. That's basically all I can say here. I'm not going after the Astros hitters. You can make a case for Springer, Bregman, Altuve, Correa. They're just shockingly expensive. Cheapest guy in that group of four is $4,800 on FanDuel. Or on DK, rather. So it's just all I'm worried about is Justin Verlander, and that's all everyone will be worried about.
Yeah, I think I agree. So Verlander is just a phenomenal play, 13.3 on DraftKings, makes it tough to get to him. So I don't know just yet if I'll have more Verlander or Sale, but they're kind of like how they come up in the ownership. They're 1 and 2 for me. I'm going to try to get one of them in my lineups as much as possible because I just don't like the pitching slate today, and I want safety at the top. And I think both of them are safe. So no Tampa bats for me. And then Snell, we're wasting a Snell start. I love using Snell, and you're not getting a really big discount. Otherwise, I would probably consider him here.
Yeah.
But I think just too many righties, 9 of them, as many as you can possibly face. So it's hard to think he doesn't get touched up by someone in the top 6. So he could strike these guys out. I wouldn't be shocked at all if he ended up with 7 or 8 strikeouts or something. But 9,500, you're going to need a pretty good start out of him to to have that payoff. So I'm off Snell. I think the Houston bats are okay as one-offs, but I respect Snell too much to be deploying full stacks, I think.
Agreed. This game is only Verlander.
Yeah.
It's really hard to afford the top of the Astros stack. I don't have a huge problem if you wanted, like, if you were playing a bunch of lines to have one of the Astros, because it's not going to take much to be different from the field. And, you know, Springer, Bregman, Altuve, Correa, Gurriel, Gaddis, like, those guys sort of transcend matchup.
Right.
They're just good hitters, so.
Yeah,
I'll always bet on, like, talent, even if it's expensive. Just not in bulk.
Right, there's talent on both sides, I think. So if I'm playing 150 lineups, I'll probably have some Houston hitters. And I don't think it's the craziest idea to play Snell just because he's so talented and he's been so good this year. But not going to be heavy at all on either side.
We're projecting pretty heavy Kevin Kiermaier ownership on both sites.
Really?
Yeah, 9% FanDuel, 7% DK. Nobody else is owned at all.
Is this his first game back?
It must be, because he's minimum salary hitting in the 2-hole for FanDuel, so I would guess that it's his first game back.
Yeah.
I don't have my finger on the pulse of Rays returnees, so. Alrighty. More interesting pitching to talk about. Red Sox and Twins. Red Sox 4.1 run implied total. Jake's 3.1. It's a 62% chance to win for the Sox. Chris Sale going for Boston. Jose Barrios going for Minnesota. Everything that I just said about Verlander is applicable for Sale. I like him just as much on both sites. I don't have a ton of him on FanDuel. He's only $100 cheaper than Verlander. It makes Clevenger look significantly more appealing there. But he's clearly one of the three best options of the day in terms of ceiling. I love Sale here, and I'll have a bundle of them.
Yeah, I love Sale as well. I don't think we need to talk about him that much, so I will be short and just say that Minnesota I have as being one of the worst matchups, or I'm sorry, one of the easiest matchups against left-handed pitching this year. The weather's fine here. It's raining right now, so I don't know if there's supposed to be rain tonight, but 73 degrees, a little bit of wind blowing in. It's just fine for Sale. So I will have a ton of him. And then Barrios versus the Boston Bats. I'm kind of just off of both sides. I respect Barrios against righties especially. And the guys I want to play are Betts and Bogarts and JD. And then Benintendi is the guy I would like to target, but 5,200 is tough for me. So this one's kind of a wash for me outside of Chris Sale.
Yeah, we're not projecting any ownership to the Red Sox or the Twins, so it won't take much to be different to grab one of those stacks. This is similar to what we just talked about for the Astros. I'll happily pay up for the talent of the Red Sox here, but it's just hard to get to. There's not a lot of like workable pitching options. You'd have to do something like, tie on Peralta or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to touch on two questions in the chat. One that we don't normally take. What two pitchers are must-starts on DK? No such thing, in my opinion. I think that you'll need one of Verlander, Sale, or Clevenger, but I'm not in any position to say which one. If you want to nail two of the other 27 pitchers, good luck.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a must-start. I'd like to get Verlander and Sale in, but you can pay out. It's a 15-game slate. There's going to be bats all around. So you're going to get a really low-owned Boston stack. You're going to get low-owned Houston stack. You're going to get low-owned Indian stack. So, there's no such thing as a must-have pitcher here.
Right. And then, I don't know, some other person, 24 Mr. D. Thorne, I think would be the way that I would say all of that. When running your crunches, do you ever completely fade any weak pitchers or let the program filter them out? Well, I let the program filter them out. If they're weak, they'll show up as weak, and they won't be anything that I have to deal with. And if they show up a lot, then it gives me something to research. But if they're not popping up, then I'll just let it handle itself.
I exclude quite a few pitchers out of mine. I leave a lot more batters in. So, like, sometimes I'll take out some 9-hitters and stuff, maybe an 8-hitter here and there. But for pitchers, I like to get it as concise as possible.
Makes sense to me. Alrighty. Now we're going to start talking about some bats. Rangers and Royals. Rangers 4.8 run implied total. Royals 4.2. It's a 57% chance to win for the Rangers. Here we go. Cole Hamels going for Texas. Jason Hamill going for Kansas City in the battle of the Hamill. That's a fucking terrible joke. I don't want any Hamels. I don't want any Jason Hamill. What I want are Rangers bats in abundance. I love the Rangers. One of my top 3 stacks. Wrote about them this morning. That's just a direction that I would like to go because I don't have a lot of faith in Jason Hamill. If I look right now, we have the Rangers as the chalk stack of the day. By a lot.
Dude, I don't know if I can get to playing Jason Hamill, but if he's going to be, like we said, like a fifth of the ownership as Saul Romano and Eric Lauer, then he makes sense just as a pivot, just because I think those guys are all the same, and I'll just play the lowest owned one out of that group. So I might end up with some Jason Hamill. I don't think he's been better, but I don't think that he's some changed pitcher all of a sudden, getting some more chases and swinging strikes, which I like to see. Throwing more first pitch strikes. So if he can throw first pitch strikes against Texas, pretty much anyone can get them to chase. It's a little tougher now that Andrews and Belcher are back, but still a lot of strikeouts in that bottom of the lineup. So there's my case for Hamill. I still like Texas bats against him. So Gallo and Chu, Mazzara, Andrews is going to be tough, as Beltre will be. So I'm on both sides of it, but just wanted to make the case for Cole.
All right, so from the time you said I just wanted to make the case for, I lost everything after that. So I have no idea which case you're making.
Hamill.
Okay.
I don't know. Did the viewers see and hear me there? Maybe.
There's almost no way that that's possible.
Okay.
If I'm
so
not
I was
getting
just saying.
it, then they're getting the same thing I am.
I was just saying that Jake's sticking up for Cole. No, I don't like Cole Hamels. I think Jason Hamill is fine as a pivot to some of the chalk garbage that is near him in price. And he had a good start against the Rangers, getting some more swinging strikes and chases, and then he just needs to throw first pitch strikes against Texas, and then he should be able to get them out, get them to ground out. I don't think he'll have anywhere close to what he had last time with 10 Ks, but he could go 5 or 6 innings, and I think he's better than Romano and Eric Lauer. So I will make the Jason Hamill pivot.
I don't think I could bring myself to that one.
I can't bring myself to Romano and Lauer, so.
There's just a lot of shitty pitching tonight. That's going to be significantly over-owned.
And I think Hamill's going to be under-owned compared to all those guys. They're all the same, and Hamill's actually the best for me out of Romano, Lauer, Matt Cook, Hess, Vargas. So
I have Romano 3.5 points higher than Hamill for tonight. I've got Romano at 15.7, which I know you would take if you knew you could get it. And then I have Hamill at 12.1. Hamill's bad. Fuck.
So he's been a little bit better lately. That's all. I mean, I don't think he's good. He's still below average, but he's a guy that I was just auto stacking against, And after a few decent starts in a row, I'm a little bit backed off on that. And if Texas is going to be super chalk and Hamill's going to have no ownership, then Texas is also a team I like to target. I have been doing it all year, so that's where I'm at.
No, I get it. I'm going to love the Rangers hitters tonight. In theory, I should probably have a little bit of Hamill. And since I'm going to have so much Romano, Lauer, Pena, so to speak, when I cut those guys back, so I probably won't touch Romano. Lauer, yeah, I'm not even super chalk. Pena is the only guy that I'm like way over the field on. I'll end up with a couple Hamill lines to try to cover my ass for this Rangers stack. But all I want are these Rangers hitters, man. Gallo, Odor, Beltre, Mazzara, Andrews, Chu. I'm getting a lot of these guys. I like Odor way more than I should. Down goes Jake again.
Yeah, Odor friend him. Oh, I just lost you as well. Kind of cut in. But
I don't know what the deal is today. Anyway.
So those tabs you got up. All those Sal Romano tabs.
I don't think I have a Sal Romano. The only tab of a player I have open right now is Leonis Martin.
Yeah, is it just a picture of a goat?
No, that's probably why it's slowing my computer down. Even my computer thinks he's terrible. Anything else here? Any Royals bats that you would want? Big Paulo Orlando fan or anything?
No. There are bats that I like though: Merrifield, Perez, and Hunter Dozier.
Merrifield, Moustakas, and Perez, kind of a chalky three-man pairing. 12% Merrifield projected.
Yeah, I mean Merrifield against lefties has been mashing. So let me pull this up. He's got a 45% hard contact rate, only striking out 13% of the time, 361 ISO, 444 on base percentage. So that is very good.
Yeah, I mean he's really, really good against lefties.
And dual position eligibility.
Yeah.
Just a pretty easy plug and play there.
Yep, agreed. We're projecting a bit more ownership on the Royals than I will end up with, but I don't mind them if you can make things fit. Getting like a second baseman, a third baseman, and a catcher as the three-man portion of a stack on DK, going 5 elsewhere, I think is a really nice option.
Sure.
They would probably, well, if Gary Sanchez wasn't a catcher, I was going to say they'd go really well with the Yankees.
Yeah. You could leave Sanchez out.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
Save some scratch. Mets and Rockies. And this one's the biggie. Mets, 5.1 run implied total. Rockies, 6.2. It's a 60% chance to win for the Rockies. Jason Vargas going for New York. Herman Marquez going for Colorado. If you're playing a pitcher here, you're on drugs. This is hitting. This is all hitting. Rockies are my number 2 stack. Mets are my number 6. I'm relatively neutral to the field on both sides for the Mets, but I am like doubled up on the Rockies. So tell me what I'm missing here, because I figured people would be way more on the Rockies.
It's probably just a price thing. They're so expensive.
Yeah.
Blackman, Arenado story, and then even Desmond and LeMahieu up top. But I love the Rockies. Specifically the top 5. It drops off quite a bit until you get to Iannetta. But yeah, I love the Rockies. It's a 15-game slate, so it's going to be hard for all these teams that we like to be owned. I actually don't think Marquez is the craziest play. It's tough because there's a lot of lefties in that lineup now with Dominic Smith and Jay Bruce back. But he's been fine at Coors. He's had good starts at Coors. He's a huge favorite. Well, not a huge favorite, but a decent-sized favorite. And I don't think the Mets are anything special despite what they did last night.
Yeah.
So just putting that out there at that price point, 5,800 as a decent favorite. You could talk me into some Herman Marquez, but Nimmo just apparently can hit lefties now. Conforto, Cabrera, Bruce, they're all going to be tough outs for Marquez. So those would be the guys I would go to for the Mets.
I feel like the chat will get to this answer, but Marcos, yes, 50-50s are cash games. Yeah, I'm loading up on Rockies. I'm willing to pay the freight. The Rockies are the reason that I get so much Romano, Lauer, Pena.
Yeah.
And I think I'm okay with that. I'll dial their ownership back a bit. Like on FanDuel, I've got 15% of my aggregate ownership on the Rockies. We're only projecting 6. I don't need to be that far ahead on the Rockies. I mean, that's great if the Rockies pop off.
Sure.
But I can get that down to like 12 and redistribute a little bit. They're just, like, I get that they're expensive, and they're very expensive on DK. I mean, I don't want, but like you're getting quality. 5,500 for Story is kind of crazy, but it is shortstop. That helps. You know, if you were an outfielder, you would be 5,500. It's the Iannetta show, though, tonight. We all know that. Iannetta against the lefty. Sign me up. Move him up the lineup.
Story against the lefty. Yeah, my God. And Arenado.
All of them. LeMahieu, Arenado, Story, Desmond all have gigantic right-lefty splits.
Yeah. So. I mean, I love Blackman, too. So Rocky's probably the top stack on the night. Maybe the Nationals, but...
You didn't even name the one that's our chalkiest.
Who, the Rangers?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're...
But I'm with you. I love the Rockies and the Nats. Those are the two of the 3 teams that I'm highest over the field on right now.
Yeah.
Alrighty, 3 more games. Not a ton to talk about in these games either. Diamondbacks and Angels. Well, maybe a little bit. D-backs, 3.4 run implied total. Angels, 4.6. It's a 63% chance to win for the Angels. Matt Cook going for Arizona. Felix Pena going for the Angels. I like Pena here. He's a guy that I'm going to have a lot of. I'm not going to have anywhere near what I have of him. But, I mean, he's just, like, I think he's a good pitcher, or good enough pitcher, to, you know, get you to that 15-ish points at a cheap salary. He'll help you get to teams like the Rockies if they pop off, or who else was pretty expensive? Nats aren't cheap. Rangers aren't cheap. So I'm going to look at some Felix Pena. I'm waiting to hear how you feel about him, though.
Yeah, he looks okay to me. He's had some trouble going deep into games. I see a lot of like 4 2/3, 3 2/3, but it looks like, so the pitch count might be an issue here. He threw 84 in his last time out, but before that, looks like they're babying him with 39 and 55 and 71. So I don't know, maybe he's just in the process of getting stretched out. It doesn't look like he missed a start in there, though. So I'm just confused about his pitch count right now. Swinging strikes look okay, nothing special at AAA, but what's his price? I don't have it on the sheet right here. Isn't he like 44? Yeah. So 4,400 at home against the D-backs, who are like one of the hottest teams in the MLB right now. It's not the best matchup, but 4,400 on a slate like this, and you're a minus 150 favorite. I mean, you don't really need much. You need like 10 to 12 points for him to be okay and get every single bat plus Sale and or Sale or Verlander. So it makes sense.
Yeah, I'll have a lot of Pena plus Verlander, Sale, Clevenger, Rockies, and 3-man stack that makes that work. So
yeah.
Any bats here? Because I love the Angels.
Sure. Yeah, the Angels.
They are not popular.
Oh, I like that. So we should mention Mike Trout.
12th overall, just FYI.
Okay. Oh, I like that. Upton, I like Angelton Simmons. I'll put in your boy Jose Miguel Fernandez, and then Valbuena, and I'll probably cut it off at 7. So
I love it. I'm crushing them. They're my 5th highest stack, so I'll be doubled up on the field compared to them. Trout, even if he's 6,000, fine by me. I'll have a lot of Pujols and Upton, and Jose Fernandez. Dual eligibility of first and second base, which is like one of the weirder ones you'll get.
Yeah.
Not the traditional crossover of positions.
Right. It's usually like first and third, like Valbuena, or first and outfield. Trout's going yard tonight. He's going yard tonight. Yeah.
I have him.
That's not even a hot take.
No, not at all.
Not even close. 6. Matt Cook is pretty awful.
Yes, he is.
Against both hands. So if Trout puts one in play, it's going out. So for 6K, plus probably 3 more walks, you'll get there.
You're gonna need it at that price point.
Mm-hmm.
No Diamondbacks for me. I assume you agree.
Lamb, Peralta, Goldschmidt, I think is fine.
Sure.
But
alrighty, last 2. I know somebody asked about an A's stack earlier. I hope you hung around for this one.
Mm-hmm.
A's and Padres. A's 4.3 run implied total. Padres 4.2. 51% chance to win for the A's. Holy shit, I didn't expect this. Paul Blackburn for Oakland. Eric Lauer for San Diego. Big Eric Lauer fan here. I can tell we're paused, so I'm taking my time. Eric Lauer, we're projecting for 24% ownership. I've got 25. He is the thing that I have the most here, although I really like the A's stack on FanDuel only.
Yeah, I like the A's on DraftKings as well. I mean, Chris Davis.
They're one of the worst stacks we have today. 24. We have them 24th in aggregate ownership.
That's fine. I'll have a lot of Pinder for 3,400.
He's 65. He's 2,200 on FanDuel.
22?
Yeah. Pinder.
He's
$200 above minimum.
He's got a 65% hard hit rate against lefties this year.
I have a ton of Pinder on FanDuel.
Yeah, I like Pinder.
And Chris Davis.
Yep. I'll have Chris Davis. I'll have some Jed Lowry, and maybe even some Olsen. I don't think Lauer is any good. 43% hard contact, 190 whip against righties this year. That doesn't sound like a chalk pitcher to me, even in a good park. So I'll be on the other side of that with the A's stack or mini stack or just some fillers.
Yeah, so I'll have my alternate Eric Lauer ownership on FanDuel, not on DK. So I'll have a ton of Lauer on DK, no A's on DK, and I'll have, not a lot of A's on DK, and then I'll have a ton of A's on FanDuel and no Eric Lauer on FanDuel. So it's going to be one of those nights where I either do really well on one site. If I do really well on one side, I'm probably going to shit the bed on the other.
That's all right, as long as you win that 20K.
Yeah, I'll take it however I can get it. I don't care which site it's on.
Yeah.
This game's just kind of ugly, though. The A's are only in play because of their price point for the most part. At least on FanDuel, I think that's why we're projecting their ownership there. And Lauer is simply in play because of his price point. There's not a lot of talent. It's more efficiency in money. And that's always something that concerns me.
Yeah, true.
Final game. Marlins and Giants. Marlins 3.4 run implied total. Giants 4.5. It's a 61% chance to win for the Giants. Dan Straley going for Miami. Derek Rodriguez going for San Francisco. I've got a decent amount of Derek Rodriguez. We're only projecting 4% ownership, and I'm in the double digits. So he's a guy that I'll be looking for. Straley, not a guy that I'm looking at. And the Marlins aren't a team that I'm stacking. I do have double the field on Giants ownership. So talk to me about Derek Rodriguez first, and then we can get into some bats.
Yeah, he's at home. He looks pretty good to me. Big park. And then the Marlins are just a good matchup. This is more about the Marlins than Derek Rodriguez. So
Agreed.
I think he had an okay start against them in Miami. Only going to be 60 degrees. The wind's blowing out, but the park mitigates that wind. I don't know. I mean, he just seems like a pretty safe pitcher. I wrote him up in the spotlight pictures because I don't feel great about really any options below him, and he's just safe. He's got a chance for the win. He can go 5 or 6 innings, have a few strikeouts, and that's probably going to be okay at that price.
Yeah, look, I got 15% of them, and we're only projecting 4, so I'm definitely on team Derek Rodriguez. It's a lot better than Marco Gonzalez, $200 more expensive.
Yeah.
So Giants bats, I'm doubled up on the field for them. Most of that is in the first 4 guys. So Panic, Posey, McCutcheon, and Belt. And then I get a little bit of the Panda. First and third eligibility makes it a little bit better. Don't need a ton of Mac Williamson or Kelby Tomlinson or Gorky's.
Yeah. I don't really have anything on either side. So
I'm surprised Belt is only at 1%. It's a pretty nice matchup. I guess, just because of the ballpark doesn't help it.
Yeah.
Who's higher owned, Rodriguez or Straley? Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Per our stuff, at least. All right, let's look at a DK crunch. Give me 2 pitchers.
Let's do Sale and Romano. I just want to see what it looks like.
Okay. 5-man Nats with a 3-man Rangers. Yeah, I mean that's why Sal Romano's owned. Because you get Harper, Soto, Eaton, Murphy, Severino, Gallo, Beltre, and Andrews.
I mean, I don't like the Rangers that much, though. Not enough to where I would go down to Sal Romano.
Oh my God, I love well, you're crazy then, because they're the chalk stack.
I know.
I don't like that A's one all that much. I mean, obviously, I like the Nats side of it.
Yeah, Lucroy.
Right, let's find a non-Rangers portion of this for you. It's kind of hard to do it. Okay, there we go. What about Reds Cardinals?
Reds Cardinals. Yeah, I don't know. I like Velasquez too much, I think.
Mets A's?
Mets A's. That one looks fine to me with Bruce and Conforto and Asdrubal.
I mean, it's not far off of the optimal for a Sale Romano combo off of my projections, so
okay,
that's one that I don't mind. All right, now give me a real one. Give me 2 guys that you're confident in.
Yeah, let's do Peralta. Do you have any of him?
I've got 3 of them, so we'll just see what they look like for
Yeah.
Peralta, Derek Rodriguez, Peralta, Clevenger, and Peralta Tyon.
Peralta Rodriguez. Oh my God, I love that. Wow, that looks awesome.
Would you want to make any changes to that?
I don't think I'd want to make a single change.
It does look really good.
Oh my God, full Nats and 3-man Yankees. Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, you get your boy Murph.
Yeah.
Right,
You could even probably play around with that and go like Peralta, Herman, or something, and just take 2 talented guys that are underpriced.
Absolutely. All right, so who are the guys that I'm over the field the most on that I would want to look at? How about we do Tyon and... Let's do Tyon and Clevenger and see what that ends up with. That's not going to be a popular pairing, but I like it. Okay, so I can get... I don't really love it all that much. I mean, I love the Rangers side of it. I like Votto and Duvall. I'm not the biggest Tucker Barnhart guy. I would probably switch that off. Ooh, Kurt
Suzuki.
Yeah.
Or Flowers. Either one of those catchers.
I like that. I would happily switch off of Votto, too. One-off Adam Duvall, I mean, that's kind of like what you're looking for in a one-off, a guy that might hit one into the bleachers.
Sure.
Matt Adams will be chalk. Gallo I can't do. I like Brandon Belt tonight. But I don't like the 3 one-offs. Yeah, Tyon and Clevenger, you can have a lot of chalk at bats if you wanted to do Tyon and Clevenger because apparently we're not projecting any Tyon ownership.
We're not, yeah. I guess probably shouldn't be.
If you're trying to use If you like Tyon tonight, feel free to use relatively chalky bats because you won't need as much to differentiate.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let me switch over to FanDuel for you crazies. Are Spotlight pitchers out yet?
They're out.
Excellent. Spotlight pitchers are out. Spotlight hitters and stacks are out. We'll have quick hits up this afternoon. No idea which direction I'm going there. Probably Tyon. I don't know. Seems like it'd be fun. Come on, Fantasy Cruncher.
Are you gonna have? You said you're going to have the quick hits out.
Yep. That'll be probably like around 1 o'clock.
Nice.
Alrighty, FanDuel. So, if we're looking for my actual recommended pitcher on FanDuel, I would say... I mean, Clevenger's probably going to be my guy. And if I did Clevenger... Oh, my God. It's just, I mean, that first lineup, like... Odor, Andrews, Chu, Gallo. If the Rangers go crazy, along with Matt Adams, Rendon, Harper, and Severino, that's just so good.
It's just hard for me to play a chalk team on a 15-game slate that I don't think is that great. Like, if it was the Nats and they were going to be the high-stone stack, I would still probably be over the field, but I don't know. The Rangers scare me.
Well, they're very boom-bust.
Yeah,
Guys like Gallo and Odor and stuff. I mean, they're a lot of empty at bats.
Exactly.
All right, chat. You got 1 minute to ask any questions. Matt, I don't know. How do you get crunches? I don't know how to answer that. We use Fantasy Cruncher. When is Matt Boyd going to get some respect? Probably when he changes careers.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll like him as a pitching coach or something because he's not anybody that I'm going to be like, you know what? We should like Matt Boyd more. Sorry, Sean Evans. I don't know if you're like Matt Boyd's girlfriend or something.
Matt Boyd's girlfriend.
Anything, people? Trying to give it a little light. Oh, almost knocked my light over. It's been a while since I've punted my light while we talked.
You punt your light?
Yeah, well, before I got my new desk, my left leg used to be able to extend and hit one of my lights. So, now it's off to the side and the desk is bigger, so.
Alright. Well, be careful over there.
Yeah, I mean, there's crap I've got 2 giant lighting rigs in here, so it's kind of a pain in the ass. Alright, that's everybody. Any other questions? Hit us up on Twitter, at Josh Engelman, at Jake Hari. You can see that stuff on the screen. Check out Spotlight Hitters, Pitchers, Stacks. Check out Quick Hits. Check out the live stream tonight. Jake and Chris starting at 6 o'clock. You got anything else you want to add? What do you think of the coach in the NHL stepping down yesterday?
Barry Trotz? Yeah, that was kind of weird. At first I read it, I thought he was like stepping down because he was retiring, but he's not that old, and it seems like it was a contract negotiation issue. So it's kind of a weird situation there. I don't know why. I'm sure more stuff will come out on it, but there's actually a crazy NHL trade going on right now. Like Mike Hoffman of the Senators got traded twice, it looks like, this morning. I was kind of following it along, but just weird stuff going on in the NHL. You got 3.5 more months until we get to see him play.
Wow, because Hoffman's fiance harassed
it's a crazy story.
Wife online.
And he got traded this morning to the Sharks, and then the Sharks just traded him to Florida, like right now.
Wow.
So I don't know. It's weird.
Crazy.
Weird situation.
Best of luck tonight. We will talk to you again later.